Hi everyone, and welcome to Our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show, we'd like to welcome Jill Shaffer. She is the Director of Resource Development for Habitat for Humanity here in Ventura County. Welcome to the show, Jill. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to talk about Habitat for Humanity, how it brings people together to build new homes, get people into a future home, and really makes a difference for so many families out there.
Absolutely.
Can you give us a little insight into that?
Absolutely. It's such a joy to be involved with an organization that does such wonderful things for families that just need a little hand up to realize their dreams.
Right.
And we work with over 2,000 volunteers a year come together to help build homes for these families that are truly doing everything right, yet still can't quite get out of these living situations that are really quite, there's a lot squalid. There's a lot of families that we work with that you wouldn't believe how they're actually living, and when they are able to build their own home alongside our Habitat volunteers, it is just it's very transformative for these families.
Well, as we mentioned, your nonprofit provides a very decent, safe place for children and families to gather together and have a home.
Absolutely.
How can people qualify for this type of building? And what does all that entail?
I wish we could build so many more houses so we could help so many more families, because we have so many that fall under that. Usually it's an 80% of AMI that they're looking, someone who is in a low income category. When we are about to build homes, we have community meetings to announce in those areas. If we're partnering with different cities, sometimes they have different requirements, whether it has to be someone who lives in their city that they want to provide the homes. And when I say provide the homes are built and the families apply, and once they're accepted, and they are selected by a committee, so it's a full selection committee that gets together and evaluates not only the need, but also their ability to pay an affordable mortgage, because they still pay an affordable mortgage, and they have to put in 500 hours of sweat equity to build their own home.
So those are the three requirements to get into a home.
Yes.
You have to put in the sweat equity as a family or as a group.
But that's once you've committed,
Once you qualify and go through the process. And then you also have to be able to afford some sort of low mortgage payment to continue living in the home. Right.
And we also, so there are people will come into our office and say, well, I want to be on a list. So we do have an interest list. So when we do have a build going on, we will send emails out to those people who are interested, on top of the community meetings and the other ways that we have to identify that we have homes coming up.
I like the fact that Habitat for Humanity offers a hand, but not a handout.
That's
so
correct.
it gives people the opportunity to have a home, but you got to put in a little sweat equity too.
Absolutely.
So that's important.
And one of the beautiful things that happened, we just finished our 6th home build at First and Hayes in Oxnard. And we did that about 10 months. And watching the families come together every Saturday and build together their homes, they're building not only their own homes, but they're building this community. They're building a neighborhood, because now, once their homes are finished and they've just moved in, actually just a month ago, then they already know. They already know their neighbors. They know their neighbors like their family. So how many of us go to our homes and go into our garages and never talk to our neighbors? So the beauty of not only building a home for people that don't have and helping them doing it together, gives them the ability to get to know their neighbors in a way that nobody else gets that opportunity.
We also should mention that in addition to building homes, you also repair homes, existing homes. You help a lot of people in that respect, disabled people, veterans, seniors. Tell us about that program and how one can qualify for that as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Right.
It's called Habitat Home Repair.
Okay.
And we try to identify a lot of seniors and veterans in our area through partnering with different agencies. We have Area Agency on Aging and the Livingston Memorial Visiting Nurses Association, and there's a lot of really great organizations that work with seniors.
Okay.
That they'll go in and do some social work perhaps and find that, my goodness, they can't get around in a wheelchair now. We have to do some modifications to their homes. Okay. So that's one way. We will move sinks and toilets and pull up rugs and build ramps, anything that can make the home more accessible. The focus really is on critical health and safety issues in the home. So we try to prioritize that way. We are funded partially through CDGB funding from certain cities, Thousand Oaks, Camarillo, and then the county of Ventura. But we definitely are looking for additional funding for that program so that we can say yes to anyone who needs help. And it is same low-income homeowners, so you have to own your home or your mobile home. But there's so many seniors that are aging in place that need help, and they want to stay in their homes, but they can't because they can't maneuver their walkers or throughout their home. So,
and how good that you are there to provide that for them, so they can remain in their home. That's very important for many seniors.
Absolutely.
And I know that
that's firsthand. Right.
Right. Now let's talk. You mentioned funding. Funding is a big part of Habitat for Humanity. The money has to come from somewhere.
Absolutely.
And donations, and maybe corporate sponsors. Tell us a little bit more about that end of the organization.
We've really been growing, and as you know, awareness is half the battle. Getting people to understand that it is we're not giving away homes. We're not, we are. There's a very stringent process, and that we are doing good work. So every good build that we do with these homes in La Colonia and the homes in Santa Paula that we finished, and now we're off into Camarillo to do 2 homes, that the awareness comes, people say, oh my gosh, how do you do that? How do you build those homes? And so for us, it's a part of being a construction management company and been part in being a nonprofit where you need to raise the funds in order to do it, because if we didn't raise funds, we wouldn't be able to offer this really low, affordable mortgage opportunity for these families.
When you do build the homes, as you're talking about, is the land donated?
Sometimes it's donated from the city, but with caveat that we're gonna loan you this, and then once the homes are built, then we'll give that money back to you, or kind of a reimbursement. Every city's a little different, and it's not always with cities, but there's a lot of. People say there's no land in Ventura County, but actually, there are a lot of vacant lots out there that developers don't want to build on, and there are there are opportunities for us not only to help these families, but to when we're talking neighborhood revitalization. Would you rather in your city have an empty lot filled with trash, or would you rather have 6 beautiful new homes and families that work hard to do and keep it up? So for us, it's really important to get the message out that the home ownership piece is so important for people care and feeding of neighborhoods and keeping them up.
It really makes a difference, because building is extremely expensive.
Oh, it is.
And so you have to have the funding for that. Do you actively seek out corporate sponsors as well?
Absolutely. We wouldn't be able to do it without, we have a really great relationship with Union Bank, Bank of America, a lot of the banks, the trade desk in town. They have been so fantastic in sponsoring us, and they have a really great community outreach to say we want to be here in this city, but we want to be able to give back and make a difference. And affordable housing it's a key issue. It just really is.
It's really hard for so many people now to find suitable housing.
Absolutely.
And especially young families, low-income families. These are all key elements that you're making a difference in helping these people. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about one thing that I know you're gonna agree with me here. Your volunteers make such a difference for this organization.
We couldn't do it without them.
The volunteers are so special. and they really get out there and put the time in.
Right.
Let's talk about becoming a volunteer,
Okay.
a little bit about what it takes and how much time is involved.
Absolutely. So again, on our website, we do have a volunteer tab where you can fill out a form that says I'm interested in volunteering. There's no skills necessary.
Really?
I mean, we do have skilled volunteers that will help. A lot of retired electricians and things that work on this bill. But we have a lot of opportunities for people to just come out and and we have all of our crew leaders, we call them crew leaders, so we will educate and help doing that. We're also trying to work, we're going to develop a relationship with the union, Carpenters Union, especially down there in Carpinteria, in Camarillo, but so that we're working on an apprentice kind of partnership so that as they develop their skills, we can also utilize that.
Right. Everybody can work together.
Right. But with regard to volunteerism, there's so much, not just in home building and helping with that. We do landscaping and all, but we also have office volunteers, event volunteers. We have so many, about 2,000 per year that help us do the good work
and that
we're
makes
doing.
all the difference in what you're doing.
Yeah.
As you said, you couldn't do it without them.
No way.
So let's keep those volunteers
coming on in. Yes, and we try to treat them right and make sure they know they're appreciated.
I would also like to acknowledge that you also have two other programs. You have a Restore, which really is a remarkable place. You have two locations.
Fantastic.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Absolutely. We have one in Simi Valley and one in Oxnard.
Okay.
The great thing about our Restore, and it's kind of an interesting name, isn't it? But it's where people can. We talk about it's like a home improvement store, thrift store. So where people can buy couches, and tables, chairs, all kinds of appliances, even in Simi Valley now, and tubs, shelves. So a lot of contractors will come and check and try and get things that they need for different jobs. We get, depending on week per week, we get some amazing donations for these Restores, because these are people who are, either it's an estate sale that they're like, hey, we just want to donate, and then we resell that for a reduced price, and all of the revenue that we earn from both stores covers the cost of our administrative expenses. So when we go out and we do fundraising, we truly can say every dollar that is donated goes straight to programming, because we have the administration covered by our Restore revenue.
And that makes such a big difference to so many people.
Right.
Let's ask you really quick how the online process application will work. If someone is interested in being a part of the home program, what would they do? They go online and fill out some information?
Well, so for the actual applying to be a homeowner, it's a little different. They'll need to come into the office because we can explain the process, and that's just a list, or at least for now. It's not an online process. Good. It's very we're very, very careful and very conscious about being very fair with the whole program, and there's certain qualifiers that kind of disqualify people sometimes, depending on if they're not able to. But again, for instance, it's we'll be selling a house to a family. Let's say a $500,000 house for $200,000. So I guess what I'm saying is that in Ventura County, there's just no way. It's so difficult to buy a home. But once they're in, and once they get, and we do also partner with the VCCDC. I know that you had Alex Vega in here the other day, and so. We really cherish our community partnerships, because we want to do what we do, and we want to do it well, which is building houses and repairing homes.
And help so many people.
Absolutely, and leave the mortgaging and all the other stuff to our partners to help.
And they do a great job,
They do, absolutely.
Really great job. So why don't you share with us the website real quick so people can go on to the website and take a look at all the information that is on there.
Absolutely. HabitatVentura.org. So it's very simple. You can just Google Habitat. It's important to note, and I wanted to mention this because there is an international habitat, and HFHA, they love Ventura County. So you will probably see many direct mail pieces and things that come that with a habitat and a bear that you can buy and all.
Okay.
That is all international. So
Okay.
what I would encourage you to is when you're looking and you want to get involved, or
Right.
if you want to donate to Habitat, make sure if you want your dollars to stay in a local,
Make sure it's Ventura
Make sure it's
County.
Ventura County, right? And Habitat International is fantastic. They do a lot of international trips and support, but they love Ventura County because
Good.
we are a generous sort over here, and so they do a lot of direct mail pieces out here.
Good to hear. Well, thank you so much, Jill Shaffer from Habitat for Humanity.
You're welcome.
You have given us some great information to take a look at, and hopefully we'll get some families into some new homes in the future.
Absolutely.
Great.
That sounds great.
Thank you again.
All right, thanks so much.
And thank all of you for joining us today on Our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.